YouTube, what's good? This is Startup. I'm here at a gas station in Central Florida. I think this would be a cool opportunity to do this quick video. I'm trying to get gas. Now, you'll notice all the gas pumps, I don't know if you can see it, but they have little stickers that say credit card only at the pumps. And I'm wondering what's going on. See, I don't like to use credit card pumps when I go out because I don't like to put my credit card into machines. It's a recipe for getting your credit card information stolen. If you're doing it, you're living life on the edge. So this gas station I'm at right now has no attendees there. Now, when you go to the door, what you find is a sign that says gas is pay at pump only, store closed, labor problem, sorry. Now, what does that mean? In case you're not aware, we are going through a major crisis right now in our country, especially in this area, an area like this where there is a problem getting labor. People are either not wanting to work, not able to work, or some combination of both. Now, I'll give you an example. I have a friend on Facebook. He has a couple businesses. He actually put a post up today online saying, look, guys, I need to hire people, but I also recognize I'm not really paying what people need to make. What are your recommendations? And it's funny because I put a video out a couple of days ago about this very topic, talking about the fact that if you're having a hard time finding employees, it's because you are not providing any value for your employees to work for you. That's just plain and simple. But his question is, well, how much should I have to pay them? And this is a question a lot of people are asking right now. There's a major shift in market dynamics because what's happening is, and this has been happening for a while because of the internet, the nation is no longer so divided when it comes to cost of living anymore. We now have the internet, we have Amazon, we have all these things. Well, guess what? Those things even out the score. I could buy some before in the past, I might live in California and I'd have to shop at a local store to get my supplies. Well, guess what? Now I can order those supplies online and they're all the same price, right? There's no longer this difference in cost of living when it comes to my daily needs. When it comes to lifestyle, the differences are not there either. Think about this. I just got an article on Facebook where it basically showed that the cost of living in Orlando is now higher than the cost of living in San Francisco. Now think about this for a little bit. This was not the way things were just 5 years ago. Now, Orlando has always been pricey, but nowhere near San Francisco. We are having a major shift in market dynamics, and it's causing a rift in how we do everything. I'll let that go by. And here we are now. Companies are struggling to figure out, what do I need to pay? How can I pay? What do I need to pay people? And then how do I afford to pay them what I need to pay them? So I want to throw a couple little numbers out to you. I did a couple just quick calculations because my buddy did ask. He said, what do I need to be paying people? Let's get your feedback. And here's my thoughts on this. According to the National Consumer Debt Guidance, a person should not exceed more than 25% of their take-home income on their household bills, as far as when it comes to what you're paying for rent or mortgage. Now, immediately, if you're paying attention, you're going to hear those numbers and you're going to realize there is a major problem. Take an area like mine, where I live. The average cost of rent for a decent 1 or 2 bedroom apartment is going to be $1,000. That's just how it is. It's hard to find a place less than $1,000 to rent. And I'm in a rural area, somewhat rural suburban area in Central Florida. This is a problem because think about this. Let's say you get to an average place, it's $1,000 a month. According to the National Consumer Guidelines, you should not be spending more than that on your rent. Well, what does that break down to by the hour? I did some quick calculations. In order to be able to afford that rent, you need to be making about $30 an hour. Okay? Now think about this for a second. Our country is right now in a fight to the death between our political parties. The Democrats are fighting to get a $15 minimum wage, right? But that's not even enough. The Republicans sure as hell don't want that. They want the minimum wage down like $8 an hour. And the Democrats are doing everything they can to get it up to 15, but that's still half of where it needs to be. I'm sorry, here's the thing. No person should work a full-time job and not be able to afford to rent a place to live, right? This is ridiculous. We've gotten to the place where corporate CEOs are making so much money on the backs of its workers. We have some CEOs making 300. I just saw a report the other day. I forget what company it was, but the CEOs are making 350% more than their average employee. It's time for us to make some changes in our society, and this is what the point of this video is. You know, I think it's Sweden. So I found out Sweden has they're progressive. They're very progressive in their tax system and how they do all these things. And one of the things they do is they have a law that says CEOs cannot make more than 30 times their lowest paid employee. Now, see, that's still a shit ton of money, though, if you think about it. Because let's say your lowest paid employee is only making $30,000, or let's just say I think it was $40,000 a year. You could still make over $1 million as CEO. 1.3 million basically is what I calculated. That's still a lot of money for one person. But think about this: in the United States, we don't have a cap like that. We have no caps like that in the United States. CEOs can make 350, 400, 500% more than their average employee, and they get away with it all the time. Well, folks, this is a problem, and there's a reckoning coming. People are no longer tolerating it. It's not that people don't want to work. People want to work, right? Most people don't want to just sit at home and live off of other people. Most people, it's not fulfilling. It's exhausting, and it's actually very wearing on your spirit, your soul. Most people, believe it or not, want to work. But I think for a long time, people have been feeling so frustrated and so defeated from the way that the system is that they just don't even want to try. You know, think about it. I mean, you're busting your butt 40, 50, 60 hours a week, working your butt off, you know, and for what? You're still having to beg for scraps from the government. You're still barely able to afford to survive. You're eating crappy foods. You literally can't even afford, on $15 an hour, let's face facts, you can't even afford to live on $15 an hour unless you're working 50 or 60 hours a week. And part of what's happening here, we have a lot of different employers and people who are just frustrated. They're making claims like, oh, people don't want to work. People don't want to work. Nobody wants to work. Everybody wants to be lazy. And I'm sorry, that's just not the facts, dude. People want to work, but people don't want to work for just shit wages. And you have gas stations like this. It's a problem. I mean, and this is a real problem. How do they solve this problem? You know, if we're talking about people needing to make at least $30 an hour, how does a gas station like this afford to do that? There's got to be some solutions coming in the pipe. And it's not going to happen just by all of us fighting against each other, but we're going to have to figure out ways as a society, how can we resolve this situation? How can we, and you know, this is only getting exacerbated by the increase of automation in our system. Automation, robotics are replacing jobs faster than we can make them. This was already happening. So I want to make this quick video, just throwing it out there. What's your ideas for rectifying the situation? How can we get this problem resolved? How do we move forward as a society to solve these problems outside of just blaming the workers and saying nobody wants to work? That's not a solution, and it's honestly ridiculous and insulting. People want to work, but people also want to be able to have a decent home to go home to. They want to be able to have a little bit of free time so they can enjoy their lives and their loved ones, and be able to afford basic medical care and these kind of things. Right now, it's not sustainable for what we have going on. I think a lot of people are realizing this. When you see stuff like this, labor problems, this is evidence right here we've got a problem, and we need to stop ignoring it. And as business owners, entrepreneurs, it's time for us to think out of the box about what we can do and how we can solve this problem. Maybe we have to start charging more money for our services. That's going to be a big part of it, you know. and there's going to be some inflation, there's going to be some adjustments, but it's going to take all of us to come out of the box and figure out solutions and work together to solve this problem and stop fighting each other over this, and stop demonizing each other. Most people are good people. Most people want to earn a living. Most people want to live, have a job they enjoy to do, and that's for all career paths. There's no reason, let's face facts, there's no reason a clerk over here at a gas station shouldn't be able to have a decent living. There's no reason somebody who's working at a restaurant like across the street shouldn't be able to have a decent living, right? But we're gonna have to figure it out. And this video is just a shout out to all you guys who are trying to figure it out. Shout out to my buddy who's been literally put up posts on today, made me think about this, and now running through this situation. And yeah, this is a video for that. You know, we're gonna have to start raising some prices. We're gonna have to start increasing some taxes in the higher end to try to make this happen. People are gonna start coming off their wallets on the top 1%ers who are making ridiculous profits. You know, I don't know, maybe somebody can look this up. This is a 76. It'd be curious for me to find out what are the CEOs making for this place. I'm talking about the high ups, people in the investors. What are they making on profits on these places, on 76 gas stations? They're probably making millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And they may have to attend a board meeting for 5 minutes in Hawaii, right? This is ridiculous. The greed is out of control, and it's time for us to reevaluate our values in this country, and it's going to happen. Other gas stations are going to start opening up, I believe, with honest people who are trying to run them and trying to make a decent amount of money without robbing every single person that works for them, right? It's like, I forget what it was, but I looked it up. McDonald's, in order to pay a $15 minimum wage, they'd have to increase the price of a burger by a couple dollars. So I want to throw this out there to YouTube land, encourage you entrepreneurs out there, you startups, to think about how you can step in and you can fix these problems. Start up your own gas station, maybe. A gas station that believes more in open and shared economic prosperity amongst yourself and your employees, and see if there's something that we can come up with together to solve these problems. Until then, you guys take care, and we'll see you on the next startup. Peace out.